the whole issue of gender. Why does it matter to us so much? Because gender isn't the same for all cultures. Western mentality has focused on the idea of gender as a binary combination, with masculinity and femininity, serving as mutual opposites. But, in other cultures, they have three genders, or see gender as a fluid, or maybe they describe gender as a spectrum rather than a set of distinct types. Critics argue that the idea that men need to be the ones working outside their home to maintain the family stability is arbitrary, and it reinforces gender dynamics that give men power over women. The United Nations created a sustainable development goal, which is number 10, and talks about reducing inequalities within and among countries. According to its targets, we can talk about social justice. Social justice for 2030 means empower and promote the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, no matter of age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, origin, religion, or economic, or any other status. Gender inequality has been a huge problem for the United Nations in the past years. This social trouble exists in a lot of countries and regions. In Latin America, gender inequality has affected just some countries, but still exists. But in the Middle East, this problem is a daily conflict for the United Nations, and instead of decreasing, it has actually increased. According to the Human Development Reports in the area of Gender Inequality Index, only in Chile and Mexico has their inequality index fallen. But in Turkey, the problem is clearly continuing without any pause, and so as the other countries in the Middle East. Gender inequality remains a major barrier to the human development. Girls and women have made major strides since 1990, but they have not yet gained gender equality. The degree and causes of gender inequality changes throughout the world. Notable crimes against women consists of violence, feminicide, which is the murder of the women, and rape. The disadvantages facing women and girls are a major source of inequality. Thanks to the research given by the Human Development Reports, I could start digging for information of people who are right now watching this problem from other eyes than the ones of the victim. So here we go with Ernesto, a 20-year-old student from Chile, who is now studying international relations and is looking forward for working in the United Nations in the Committee for Women's Rights.
Hi, I am Ernesto, and I would like to tell you a little bit about how things are done in Chile. Gender inequality in my country exists, unfortunately, but, well, it does. And the truth is that it is at work, school, families, and society in general. However, we have had different public positions occupied by women that have opened more possibilities for women. Before 2008, gender inequality in Chile existed. It was during this year that the paradigms were broken. However, it is good to know today that women are more participatory in all sectors, and the bad news about inequality at every moment and in sectors that are deeply rooted in the ancient culture. Women is already part of today's decision. They have shown that their inclusion in restricted activities has been successful and also innovative. Women are already part of today's decision. They have shown that their inclusion in restricted activities has been successful, and also innovative arguments have been given to work on the problems of society in which we have participated for a long time, which has improved the way to see the future. I am aware that this type of problem exists in other parts of the world. I already told you a little bit about what happens in Latin America. But it is very important to also know how this problem is treated on the other side of the world, that is, in Asia.
This is really true, Ernesto. Hi, I am Mackenzie and I am a teacher from Boston, Massachusetts. I went to Turkey to have a volunteer in a school. An example of gender inequality in Turkey is that, depending on the job, men get paid more than women, or that women, because of religious beliefs, need to be always covered. As I already talked about religion, I would also share an opinion that has to do with this. If someday someone asks me if I see a solution to the problem, I would actually say not really. I think, from a religious view, men were built to be stronger and larger than women. This does not necessarily mean that they'll have power over women in every aspect, but anatomically, men are more powerful than women. Women can still fight for equality and everything will be settled eventually, but that one aspect, body strength, and how we were created, will always be in men's favor.
Thank you for sharing this to us, Mackenzie and Ernesto. As you already heard, gender inequality exists in a lot of places, not only on your country, on your continent. It actually attacks and affects the whole population. These were only two examples of gender inequality according to sex. There are a lot of more of areas included in the inequality, such as age, race, education, religion, origin, ethnicity, etc. You may be a woman, or maybe you are a man, but whatever you are, you have a mother, a grandmother, maybe an aunt or a sister. We all belong to the victim area when we start talking about gender inequality. It is really hard to face this kind of problem without any solutions in the table. After hearing all this information and getting to know a little bit more of the topic, we can conclude by saying that gender inequality may be considered one of the biggest problems the world is facing right now. There is no excuse for this to happen. We should all try to change the type of perspective our past generations gave us and start watching the society like it is, including all the changes and the new opportunities. So, here is my question for you. What is the solution to stop gender inequality?